Hey there, it's Megan Bromley. I'm happy to be able to kind of get in touch with all of you. I hope that you guys have had a little more magic than madness in your March, but well, we do know that it is COVID season. As someone who has immunocompromised parents, I would like to thank everyone that has done their part to help keep COVID under control. Thanks to you guys doing your part, my parents were able to avoid COVID until they got their vaccines. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everyone that has done their part. Now, on to the fun stuff. As a community making the sacrifices for COVID, one of the things we've had to give up is live performances. But thankfully, we have the magic of YouTube, so we can put on an online variety show. So I would like to thank everyone that submitted entries into this so that we could still kind of stick together as a community, even though we have to be a little more distant than we'd like. So I don't know about you, but I've been enjoying that the days are getting warmer and we're seeing more of Mr. Sun. I feel like our first act might have those same feelings. We have Mike Ferrens and Stephanie Hincliffe performing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. This next entry is a good reminder to always be kind because you never know what someone's going through. We have Skylar McCain performing Why She Disappeared by Taylor Swift.
Hi, I'm Skylar McCann, and I'm going to be reading part of a poem by Taylor Swift called Why She Disappeared. When she fell apart. Cracked her bones on the pavement she once decorated as a child with sidewalk chalk. When she crashed, her clothes disintegrated and blew away with the winds that took all of her fair-weathered friends. When she looked around, her skin was spattered with ink, forming the words of 1,000 voices, echoes she heard even in her sleep. Whatever you say, it is not right. Whatever you do, it is not enough. Your kindness is fake. Your pain is manipulative. When she lay there on the ground, she dreamed of time machines and revenge, and a love that really was something, not just the idea of something. Thank you.
We've all heard the saying, Mother knows best. Well, our next performer, Rebecca Hom, learned that the hard way in You Should Always Listen to Your Mother.
I got to stay home with my mom and dad every day. I'd go out, I'd help my dad do chores, I'd help my mom cook in the kitchen, and my two sisters, because they were older, much older, still are much older than me, they'd be gone to school, and I'd be at home. Now, life was grand. Like I said, I'd help my dad with chores. Mom, she would make the best fried donuts. Ooh! And I'd get to have them in a paper sack. She'd drop them in hot out of the oil into that paper sack full of sugar and cinnamon. I'd get to shake them up. Warm and crisp on the outside. Soft and doughy on the inside. Life was good. But the best thing of all was when my grandpa would come out to visit. My Grandpa DeGrief, my mom's dad. Oh, Grandpa DeGrief. He was a little leprechaun of a man, I tell you. Twinkle in his eye, bow-legged, and always a little smile on the corner of his lips. Well, Grandpa DeGrief, he'd come driving up the road, up the lane into our yard. He'd get out of his car, and he'd come walking up to the house, carrying always a little paper bag. For me. Candy. For me. Because my sisters were in school. It was grand. Now, everything went along like that until one day. Grandpa DeGrief, he came driving up the yard, just like always. Got out of his car, closed the door, just like always. He came walking up to the house, carrying that little paper bag, just like always, for me. But this time, instead of giving that paper bag to me like he always did, he gave it to my mom. Well, he'd never done that before. That was my candy. It's always for me. What was going on? Now, my mom, she took that paper bag and she went in to the bathroom and she put that bag up on the high shelf up above the washing machine. She'd never done that before. Now, being only 3 years old, I was very confused. So I watched and I waited. And I waited and I watched until they weren't watching me. And then I took that little wooden step stool and I pushed it over right there to the washing machine. And I climbed up on top of the washing machine and I stretched up as high as I could to that tall shelf and I grabbed that paper bag. I could hear something rolling around in it. Candy. For me. I bet it's those round peppermints that I love. I put my hand in there. Oh yeah, there's those little round balls in there. And just as I grabbed up a handful of those balls, my mom came around the corner. She said, "Oh no, don't!" And being 3 years old, I went, it was mothballs. And I had eaten a whole handful of them. My mom grabbed me up and she rushed me to the closest hospital at 10 miles away. And when I come back home, I told everybody about how I had my stomach stumped. My stomach pumped. Now, I have to tell you, that all turned out for the best. I lived through eating the mothballs. But I want to tell you, when somebody loves you, when there's somebody who cares about you that says, "No, stop, don't," take a minute and smell the mothballs. See you later.
Who knows what wonders the future will bring? Maybe we'll finally have flying cars. Well, our next entry, Ava, is going to give us a possible glimpse into that fantastic future by reading a poem called Calling from Mars.
Hi, my name's Ava, and I'll be reading a poem, Calling from Mars. Remember what I said all those years ago? If you look up at the stars, there I will be floating around Mars. When you think about me, don't feel sad. Think about me being the first girl on Mars. Flying past planets we always dreamed to touch, traveling thousands of miles from home with the solar system that I barely know. I will miss you, that's true, but I will see you from above. On the red planet, millions of sparkling stars all around. One will lead me back to you. Know that I love you, even on the way out here. On the red planet, I will bring you up here with me one day. But until I can, keep dreaming about all you can. Just know I will never be too far from you. If you need me, I will come back to you.
Hi, editing Megan here. Turns out that YouTube will only let me upload in 15-minute chunks, so we're going to have to break up this variety show into a couple of segments. I'm going to try and include the link to the next segment right around somewhere here on the screen. Check back with you in a little bit on the next video.